Hello, everybody. My name is Ray. Welcome to the Evangelical Dark Web. Today, we're going to be discussing Rick Warren and Saddleback Church appealing their disfellowshipping from the Southern Baptist Convention. The Southern Baptist Convention disfellowshipped Saddleback Church. Finally, it took them long enough, but they finally disfellowshipped Saddleback Church over their egalitarianism. They ordained women. I believe this was brought up at the 2021 annual Southern Baptist Convention, and it became a major issue at SBC 2022. And Rick Warren got like about 5 minutes of uninterrupted time on the floor to bloviate about himself. But in any case, the Southern Baptist Convention finally disfellowshipped Saddleback Church for ordaining women in violation of the Baptist Faith and Message 2000, which was in part created to address this very issue, because the ordination of women is contrary to the authority and inerrancy of Scripture. And that is why every denomination that has ordained women has gone apostate in other directions as well. They've all embraced critical race theory. They've all embraced homosexuality. So, there are real consequences to falling short, or not falling short, but going astray on this very issue. And the Southern Baptist Convention is going to do battle over it, and Rick Warren is going to take up that fight as well. He will have a response of his own, because even though he's no longer the senior pastor at Saddleback Church, he's, pastor emeritus or something like that, he still seems to be pulling some strings at Saddleback Church. So we're going to dive into that. But first, Evangelical Dark Web is a Christian news gathering and commentary service. We have articles just about every single day, and a newsletter that goes out just about every single day, a daily newsletter to let you know the latest and what's going on in Christian news, in spiritual warfare. So we have a ministry, and the least you can do to support us is to like this video. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Evangelical Dark Web does have a Patreon-like system at evangelicaldarkweb.org/join. You can go and support us there through our Patreon-like system, because Patreon censors, we don't use them. So let's dive in. This is a clip from the Russell Moore Show, which is a Christianity or Compromise Today podcast. Russell Moore is a longtime liberal SBC operative, but now he's no longer an SBC operative. He left the Southern Baptist Convention to work at Compromise Today and became their editor-in-chief. So things are looking up for Rick Warren at this time, but nonetheless, he's pretty much gone astray as well, but we kind of already knew that in discernment circles. So here's a clip. Here's the clip, the money clip.
I'm moving on now. It doesn't matter to me. Or are you going to appeal this? Is Saddleback going to appeal this on the floor of the Southern Baptist Convention in June?
In my heart of hearts, I just want to walk away from it. You don't want to be where you're not wanted.
Right.
Okay. I knew last year at the convention, but I don't think I can do that. I think that's a selfish thing to do. I think I need to stand up for the pastors who are scared to death by this Inquisition. And I think I need to stand up for the millions of godly Southern Baptist women whose gifts and leadership skills are being stymied. And so I'm going to most likely appeal it. Not for my benefit. We don't need it. We don't need the Southern Baptist Convention.
Right.
They need the 6,000 purpose-driven churches that are in the Southern Baptist Convention in our fellowship. But we don't need the convention. But it would be for the benefit of others, not for us.
Well, when we first...
So that's the clip from this interview. Now, this interview does go on at length about Rick Warren's, what changed his mind on this issue. So we have erroneous eisegesis of the Great Commission, Acts 2, and stuff like that. So it's a pretty ridiculous argument that he makes to justify the ordaining of women in Scripture. And he doesn't refute the passages in Scripture that explicitly prohibit the practice of ordaining women. So he's not willing to address those passages, but he addresses he eisegetes these other passages, and then he kind of uses a roundabout church history argument to kind of argue that Christians have always been ordaining, or started out ordaining women, or sort of. Basically to say that organized church wasn't really a thing in the way that we thought, or in the way that we have it now back then. So he kind of makes a weird historical argument along with a very eisegetical interpretation. He chooses the passages that he can contort to his view. That's basically how he justifies it in the first several minutes of that podcast. But there's a clip on him saying that he's going to take the battle to the Southern Baptist Convention, giving us a compelling storyline going into the annual Southern Baptist Convention 2023. And this is a Southern Baptist Convention that doesn't really have a storyline going in. It's taking place in New Orleans, Louisiana. And there isn't really a battle to be had. No one's really announced that they're running for president. As far as I know, Barber hasn't even announced re-election yet. And no one in the Conservative Baptist Network has mounted a campaign to challenge them. I mean, I think the Conservative Baptist Network is a sham of an organization. They do not have what it takes, and they've shown that they do not have what it takes to compete in the Southern Baptist Convention. And they've not been doing a good job at articulating the doctrinal drift of the Southern Baptist Convention. But Rick Warren has forced the issue, and this is where things get interesting. He has forced the issue of women's ordination to be at the front and center of the Southern Baptist Convention going in 2023. The annual Southern Baptist Convention will be about Rick Warren because Rick Warren has made it about Rick Warren. And will the Southern Baptist Convention get rid of and, seal the deal on disfellowshipping one of its largest and definitely the most influential church in the Southern Baptist Convention, that is Saddleback Church? Will they pull the trigger on that? The firing squad, will they do that? And that is an interesting question because I'm not entirely sure the answer. I think it's 70% yes. Those are my odds. I'm not entirely sure how to convert that to American money line, but let's just say minus 200, yes, they pulled the trigger on it, but we still got very favorable odds that they do not pull the trigger on it. And that is because last year, Rick Warren got about 5 minutes to bloviate about himself at the Southern Baptist Convention. 5 minutes to bloviate about himself uninterrupted, and the crowd cheered at the Southern Baptist Convention. Southern Baptist messengers cheered Rick Warren's bloviating and self-promotion. And you saw in that 1 minute clip, give or take 1 minute clip, he indulges himself. We got 6,000 fellowship churches. We don't need the Southern Baptist Convention. They need us. You saw that type of ego because Rick Warren's ego is as big as his gut, if not even bigger. You got to remember that, where would God be without Rick Warren? Because that's how big that guy's ego is. So that's who Rick Warren is. He's going to take the fight to the Southern Baptist Convention. And this is interesting because conservative Southern Baptists do not turn out. The platform turns out their crowd. They get the hirelings and all that to show up and vote for the liberals. Because, last year the conservatives got swept. They didn't really have a single victory, a meaningful, substantive victory at the annual Southern Baptist Convention. Not a single meaningful victory. They lost everything. And the best that they had was trolling, which, be a thorn in their side for sure. But this year, there's a meaningful objective that can be accomplished by the messengers. I believe the procedure will be to vote to affirm the Credentials Committee report. It'll come up in their session. So, if not the Executive Committee, because I believe the Executive Committee actually pulled the trigger on the disfellowshipping before the appellate will be done by the Southern Baptist messengers. But that's going to be the process. That's going to be the storyline. And this can actually drive people to turn out for the Southern Baptist Convention. Disfellowshipping Saddleback Church. We have a name. We have an enemy identified. We have an issue identified. And that is Rick Warren, Andy Wood, Saddleback Church. And the issue is ordaining women, which is very unpopular in the Southern Baptist Convention, even with the facade of we have female pastors, but we don't call them female pastors, which Rick Warren violated that facade. because there are a lot of Southern Baptist churches that ordain women. They just don't say it. And what's it going to be? Is the Southern Baptist Convention going to become a mainline denomination overnight? Or are they going to actually, draw a line in the sand and maybe even counterattack the liberal drift that's going on within it? Saddleback Church, Rick Warren, Andy Wood, look as though they're going to be a major proxy for the direction of the Southern Baptist Convention because, first of all, the Conservative Baptist Network cannot get it done, has not gotten it done. That includes Founders Ministry as well, by the way. They can't get it done. They haven't got it done. And what we're going to need is probably some new leadership to champion this issue going into Southern Baptist Convention 2023. So this is good news. I think this actually is a very compelling storyline going into the annual Southern Baptist Convention 2023 that'll take place in mid-June. And with over 3 months out, or about 3 months out, a lot to look forward to. A lot of things can happen as well. So we're going to keep the coverage going on. Hopefully we're going to live stream the annual Southern Baptist Convention both days here on Evangelical Dark Web. So you're definitely going to want to subscribe so you don't miss that. Otherwise, let me know what you think about what I think about this ongoing story. Have a blessed day. I will catch you on the next one.